So we are in the storage in the caveau of Carabinieri, Command Carabinieri for the protection of cultural heritage. Here we have storage all the objects, a lot of objects for what has not finished the judiciary proceedings. So all the works of art, artifacts that will be given back to the owners, public institution or private. So you can see these, and you can see also the objects we have confiscated to the great robbers, for example, metal detectors. Here we have a principal tool of grave robbers. In Italian we say spillone, it's a spill. It's a tool they use to test the ground to search the graves. They search the stone, the hard, so they can depict the grave, and they enter, but they destroy everything. We have a lot important pieces. For example, a paint, important paint of a follower of Caravaggio, Giovanni Battistello Caracciolo. It was stolen in Salerno, in a castle near Salerno, Valva. You must know that when it was stolen, our data banks, it was at the beginning, I will say why it's so important, but this was not registered in our data bank. In about 10 years ago, it was in the hands of an antiquary. He understood there was something strange in this paint, so he came from us. We have know all the history of the theft. This is an important paint. It's valued about 4 million euros. They complain of Adamo and Eva for the death of Abele. Abele was killed by Caino. If you can see here, there is the piece of the monkey. Donkey was used to kill Abele. He's an important follower of Caravaggio. Giovanni Caracciolo said Battistello, Giovanni Battistello Caracciolo. It was stolen, then it was finished in the illicit market, so then has arrived to an antiquary. It's a common story in this fact. It was a castle. We have a lot of buildings that are not great security, so it's easy. You must think we have in Italy about 100,000 churches that are open to the public. They don't have much security against crime, so it's easy. If you can see on the other side, you will see a lot of artifacts that came from the churches, because it's very difficult to protect. We have an enormous archaeological, artistic goods, assets, so it's very difficult to protect sometimes. This was stolen in a castle of Valva, near Salerno, under Napoli, under Naples. This castle is property of the Knights of Malta. Okay. At the beginning, there was not a lot of attention. We are speaking about 1980. So it was beginning of our work. They didn't send the photo of this, or they didn't announce. It's a fact something happens in particular for that period, for the beginning. We have a lot of paints that come from a church. We find it, sometimes we don't know where they were stolen, okay? So we have said about 10 years ago, it is finished in an antiquary. is lost the memory of what has happened in illegal market. This antiquary has immediately understood that there was something strange, very important picture like that could be stolen. So he has come from us. We have managed with the investigation to understand where it was. So it will be given back to the customer when it was raped at the end of the judiciary procedure.
What was the punishment of person who stole this?
This is another important thing. Often in this procedure there is no punishment. Maybe often you are very far from the crime. So the crime is prescripted, okay? I think in every country you have an amount of time in what you must punish your crime. If you go for this crime, you cannot punish. For this is important our enlarged confiscation. Often you have not a guilty. The crime is prescripted, okay? Mm-hmm. So the important is to have back the peace, to have back the cultural asset. At the beginning, you must be a carabiniere. You must enter like carabiniere. You must have a little experience out on the territory, okay? Operative services. Then you make a course, an experience with a course in our center, and then you enter. To have a real experience here, you must be years.
How long this course would continue?
No, some months. That is not very important. Important is the experience you make in the command. For example, I said we find the pictures, stolen picture in database. It's not easy. Maybe often you have on internet only a piece of the whole the paint. So you must understand that iconography is there is something that doesn't go. So you must search. It's not easy. So you are not an expert because if you need an expertise, you have the expert of the Minister of Culture, but you must have a knowledge of the matter. For example. This is another sector, the fakes, okay? Falsifications. Mm-hmm. For example, these are all fakes, okay? Fakes of Andy Warhol, De Chirico, Modigliani, Fontana. We keep these paints here to teach to the new Carabinieri what is the falsification. Falsification is another sector very complicated. You can see on your feet. This is the last operation of Forger. We have found the laboratory of Forger. You see, he created, this is, for example, a drawing of Picasso. He had created the stamp of the signature of Picasso. He sold his works on internet, okay? He was a restorer. You know, the step from restorer to Forger can be brief. So he was a good painter. He have studied a particular period, avant-garde, between the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. For example, these are surrealistic geometric. This is Chachen, this is Poliakov, Afro Basaldella, Macchiaioli. A particular kind, a particular sector of painting. So, what they said.
How is it expensive?
About 5,000-6,000 euros to 10,000 euros. Not many expensive.
How
Big,
he could sell it?
yeah, I explain. He used internet. He put on sale the picture on internet and said, no, you can see this works as appeared in a catalog. This was the original catalog. This was the catalog falsified. He put his works on the catalog, published it there. So this is real because it is in catalog. Okay. Another thing. This is, for example, a fake Balla. Giorgio Balla is an important contemporary artist, Italian contemporary artist. He made this,
Like
absolutely fake.
But where is the signature of?
Yeah, but he used the contemporary materials, so all the materials, but you see also the writings were made with the machine, and then it was made whole to seem real. This is artisanal forgery, but there is all a world of forgery that is more industrial. You see a lot of stamps, graphics on internet. I said, for example, last year one of our sections made a great operation in all Europe. We have found 3 different typographies that had printed this all fake Andy Warhol, Banksy, a lot of Banksy. That were, we have seized about 2,000 of these graphics. So if you sell in this way, it become an industrial market, okay? If you can see, can come with me, I can show. Oh, this is the sector of all what is stolen from the churches. The churches is a great problem. We have a lot of churches in Italy. It's very difficult to protect them, and you have not only important paintings. For example, this was stolen in a monastery in Rome, but you have a lot important objects of sensory and other objects that are a great value, a cultural value. They are very, very important. Now, I'll show you another part of the falsification. For example, excuse me. For example, these are fakes of Modigliani. Modigliani is another important painter, Italian painter, that was put in exhibition near these drawings that are real Modigliani.
Wow.
Okay, so a fake goes near an original, so you can say the fake is original too. Okay, this is another important artist, Polish artist, Moisey Kisling. For example, who says if a painter is genuine? The expert. Okay. Expert had told this is genuine. Our department, scientific department of investigation, is named RIS, I showed that the signature was made with the pencil before and then with the paint. So they copied the signature, okay? This is also more interesting. The same author, Kisling, also many experts that said it was genuine. De Vries has showed it, demonstrated it was fake because the blue and the green used in the paint was in commerce 20 years later, the datation of the paint. So the diagnostic, the scientific proofs are very, 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 very important.
Fantastic.
This is another, I think you can say it could be,
Van Gogh.
okay. There is also now a test, a scientific test, to see if this is an original Van Gogh or not, because all the methods utilized in this case are contemporary. It's very well done. So it's very difficult, the diagnostic in this case they are studying. When you have demonstrated a picture is fake, is a forgery, you must destroy it by law. In some case, we can ask to conserve, to give us these fakes for study. For
The specialist who is in Carabinier command team, they are science. They're specialists not from museums. They are from Carabiniers.
Sometimes we use our scientific department, okay, but they are not so many. So sometimes there are experts that come outside. Also private experts. The judge can choose a private expert.
Some who exactly knows
This proof. These are very particular because you must examine all the matters. You make a radiography of the paint so you can see what there is below. There are a lot of examination, scientific examination that can help. You know, it's more difficult to forget, to falsify something that is ancient, okay? It's very difficult. Is it possible? There are also fake archaeological pieces. They search to eliminate carbon-14 to elude the falsification is linked to contemporary art above all. Okay.
I have heard that some falsificators use realistic or natural frames, old frames,
Yeah.
to prove.
Absolutely. They use old. If you want to create a credible fake, you must use contemporary materials. Otherwise, it's very. You cannot create something that it can be trusted if you don't use materials. I show another example. De Chirico, one of the most important contemporary artists, is a metaphysic painter, okay? A creator of metaphysic paintings. De Chirico made a lot of paints. You have not a unique archive, a real complete archive. So the forger can say, oh, wait, there are 10 paints more than De Chirico. For example, this is a fake. This is a paint named, called The Great Metaphysic. De Chirico made a lot of versions of this paint. So a Forge can say, oh, there is not only 10, but 11 versions. So this is the way. But we have said this is artisanal Forge. The new frontier is the industrial. You make a lot of samp, you say it's original, and it's not. And the frontier new is non-fungible token. I don't know if we have the thing. If you have a digital paint, digital art, you can sell it with the certificate, with the digital certificate. There is non-fungible token. There is a falsification also in this sector. So falsification is a word, a very large word. You must need. We have first talked about SWOTs. Our program, we have developed the data bank. No, we are developing now SWOTs too. In what we are searching to. With artificial intelligence to teach the computer the concept of fake, of falsification, to find falsification on the internet. But it's very, very difficult because it's a very complicated, very articulate comp. We have cooperations also with the museums to for the security crime. Okay, so we make some visits to the museum to suggest to change the video cameras, with the security systems, the alarms, so that the museum can be sure. Our museum now have acknowledgement and have an awareness very important of this kind of security. It's very high now. So sometimes we have had some rape in the museum. They have gone with the guns in the museum. We have, yes, in second. But the security is very high. The problem is for the monastery, the churches, they are buildings that are open to the public. So in museum as an hour you can visit, as some rules. It's difficult to have the rules with the building for the cult, for the religion. It must be open to the people.
But this pieces of art in the church is accounted as a museum exponent, or this is the owners of churches only?
It's like national heritage.
No, we have two kinds of buildings. There are some buildings that are property of the church. But the picture that, for example, in a church, in some other, our church, we have a picture of Caravaggio. You know, if you go in French churches in Rome or in St. People Place, you find for Caravaggio. That picture is of cultural interest for Italy, okay? A private can have a picture, important picture. You could have a picture of Tiziano, of Caravaggio. It's not like archaeological pieces. Archaeological artifact is property of the state, okay? But you could have a picture, okay? But if it's an important picture, Italian superintendents notify that picture. That means you can have that picture, but you must follow some rules. So you must have security, you must take safe the picture. I can come to see when I want that picture. You cannot sell it if you don't say me before. I could buy myself, like said, that picture, and you cannot take that picture out of Italy without my permission.
Exhibitions and nothing else. And as a result, the state is in charge of it, the main of.
we have some buildings that property of the Church of Vatican, of the Pope, okay? Some of these buildings are property of the state that are given for the use to the church. So we have a lot of different things in these different cases. The command was created in 1969, so we have already 5 to 6 years activity. It was in absolutely primacy because in that time there wasn't not also an international law for the protection of criminal heritage. The first law is Convention UNESCO of 1970. So in that period, the Italy, the Minister of Education, there wasn't also not the Minister of Culture that will born about 6 years later, said that there was a great disparition, a great loss of our cultural heritage. So asked the Carabinieri to create a new sector police. So it was the beginning. At that time, there wasn't a real archive of the stolen artworks. So the first work was to create a great data bank. In the years has been created the most important, the largest data bank for the stolen artwork in the world.
How many items here?
Now, in this moment, we have about 1,300,000 items that we are looking for, stolen in Italy, okay? We, in our activity, in our history, we have recovered something like 3 million cultural goods, okay? This is only a part. So we are speaking about this data bank, the largest in the world, that in what there are the photos, the description of the stolen works of art for what you have an evidence. We have the nouns, okay, you know. This data bank is very important. We have developed and improved now with a new program named SWOT, Stolen Works of Art Detection System, that with artificial intelligence permits us to monitorize all the dark web, social network, to find the items to match with the stolen objects in data bank, okay? You know, the e-commerce, internet, I changed the word of investigation too, so you can monitorize all the world, but you need a tool that allows you to monitorize all. Since now, until now, the work was done only by the Carabinieri. Now there is this new tool, but this is the one side of the moon, one part. There are all the objects, they are excavated, they are dug about what you don't know nothing. The grave rovers take the object, the artifact from the ground, and they take in other countries. You must know this is an illegal market. We have the most important archaeology heritage in the world, so you must think that an artifact, an archaeological object sold in Italy has a value, in the other country an higher value, okay? So often these objects, you can see here, archaeological, are sold in the other country. So often you see this object in a museum in another country. How can you reivindicate the piece? How can you say, hey, but that piece comes from Italy? We have developed a system in the year. We have managed to denounce, to discover the great traffickers in the world. These traffickers they their archive, their paper archive, they showed these pieces to sell in the illegal market. These archives have been sequestered or confiscated and are the proof that these objects were excavated in Italy, and so you can reindicate the piece from the museum in the other country. Another step, it was important. Sometimes we have a forfeiture in Italy, a confiscation in Italy, that is not known in the other country. So you have wall against wall for the legal affairs. So they don't want to give back the piece because they haven't a confiscation like ours. So there has been another step. We have worked with the great prosecutors in Italy, and we have created a new system of cultural agreement. So from one part we have the confiscation. From the other side we can say, can we have a cultural agreement? If you don't want to prosecute the judiciary procedure, we can we can find an agreement. An agreement can be this piece, this work of art is very important. We show 4 years in Italy and 4 years in the other country. Another kind of agreement can be, we have a lot of pieces like this, like that in Italy that we have not in exhibition. You take these pieces for 15, 20 years, we organize exhibition, you give back our piece, you say that is Italian, and you will have for all these years use museum full of this object. So we show our object that would be in our deposits, so they go around the world, and you have back these pieces. In this way, we have had back a lot of artifacts, a lot of cultural goods. We have a lot of register recognition, above all with European and American museums, particularly American museum. You know, for example, one famous in the last period is the Lysippos athlete, an important statue that was fished in the sea of Pesaro, a city, an Italian city, but we have had a lot of them. Another way we can have back our pieces is, for example, with the United States, for New York. In New York, there is a particular rule that allows to recover immediately an archaeological piece if it has entered illegally in America. So if you not have the right documentation, the district attorney of New York, Matthew Bogdanos, can immediately seize the piece and give us back the piece. In this way, we have returned in Italy 1,000 pieces. Last year we have had an exhibition with about 1,200 pieces that have come in from US. We have a restitution with Mexico, Paraguay, a lot of pieces, China, Mongolia. We have a particular operational department that is named Blue Helmets. Okay, it was created in 2015 under an initiative of UNESCO, Unite for Heritage. It was created this group of the military of Carabinieri and experts of our Minister of Culture. It's a group that can interview in two situations, or in situation of natural disasters, earthquakes, flooding, fires. Okay, so you can make sure the artworks in the buildings, in the great museums, okay. The second possibility is in case of the conflict, in case of war. But in the case you need the pacification. You must have the argument of the two parties in conflict. You cannot go in the moment in where is the conflict. So it's possible to imagine when we'll finish the conflict, it will be possible to go to make sure to make safe
I return back.
This is more difficult in sense. If we have an operation that we find in Italy, the artifacts of Ukraine, we will back to the Ukraine. Okay, it's difficult to go in another country. You cannot operate in another country if not without international cooperation. So it's when you find it. If this artifact are commercialized in illicit market and come in Italy, we will back them to the owner, to the country. We are our database. For now, there is only a common Interpol database, database not so large like our, but is growing. That is the database in what all the countries record the stolen artworks. Okay, but this is then every country has its personal database. In that project, I've said the SWOTS. One of the goals is SWOTSnet, or to give this application to all the countries to create a net of all the database. Okay, we can share the software, not the data. Every country would be the owner of the data, but the system would be the same. So a cooperation with all. We have open the cooperation because we are convinced that the protection of the cultural heritage must be shared. It's very important if everyone understands that the cultural heritage must return in its context. This is important. It's a part of the history of that country, so but must be in that country. The illicit market of art is very particular. It's very sectoral. In this, we talk of the archaeomafia because we mean a particular sector. In general, in this market is involved only archaeological and antiquarian objects. They have a great value. We speak about millions of euros. It's difficult to find something all other things involved. It's very, very, very particular. We have discovered in all these great operations, we have discovered great traffickers. Okay. Important Italian, European, American, all the countries, but the markets were dedicated absolutely, exclusively to the, above all, archaeological, because archaeological objects, artifacts are very important. They are valued a lot of money.
And you did mention it that you cooperate with UNESCO Blue
Helmets.
And how do you cooperate with Interpol?
The Interpol, Europol, Eurojust are all lines of communication or cooperation are in different way that involve all the sectors of investigation. also for the crime against cultural heritage. So when you need to contact a country because you are making an investigation that lead you to France, Spain, America, you choose what you think is the better channel to have quick cooperation. You find it directly on internet. You see that piece that is be sold on internet. So sometimes instead you arrive to that from a precedent investigation. Let's say you see it that is in an auction house. They are selling a stolen artifact. If this auction house is in Italy, is not a problem. You go and seizure the piece. If it's in another country, you must see what kind of agreement, what kind of laws are operative. For example, in United Europe, there is a particular procedure in what you can freeze the object, and then you can reach it with the rogatory or order international police, so that you can. Then there is a confrontation because you must see if people who are selling is in good faith or not. There are a lot of investigation to make in it. Because we have investigation of about artifacts that were stolen 50, 60, 100 years ago. So it's long the history. So you must understand what is the position of who is selling the object. But you have a confrontation with the data bank. So you know that the object was stolen, you have it denounced, okay? So you say to the other country, hey, we have here a denounced. There is then you must certify if that object is sold in that moment in a good faith, okay? In Italy we have a system that is called enlarged forfeiture. That says it's not important there is a guilty, there is approachment, the archaeological object, this is concerned about all, because they say the archaeological object is property of the state, cannot be property of the private. This is since 1909. The first law, the Italian law that covers this concept is at the beginning of the 19th. So we have this confiscation, a larger. So the judge goes to the forfeiture in all the way. The problem is if the other state knows this as a forfeiture like this, okay? The problem is that in a lot of states, they don't have this kind of procediment, okay? So you go to a judiciary confrontation. There is a rogatory, and the two systems, the judiciary system, go to a confrontation. For this, we have created the third way, that is the cultural agreement. But often there are judiciary confrontation that go on for years. Okay. Often you can find a solution with this cultural agreement. Okay. We have some stories for what we have for years in confrontation. I've said to you, for example, the threat of Lisipo with the Getty Museum in Malibu, California. A lot of time we have 3 degrees of the judgment in Italy, 1 degree of judgment in Europe. But there is also now a confrontation. This is our command that is behind the St. Francis Church. This church is where St. Francis came to when he must meet the Pope for the rules of the order. It is one of the most important founding in archaeology, Etruscan archaeological history. How starts the operation? We have contact with the photos of these urns. Someone was selling these urns in a legal market. At the beginning, we didn't know anything. Then we have seen this writing on one of the urns, okay? We have cooperated with an expert, an Etruscan expert of our university. He said there is written Pulfna. Pulfna is the name of this Etruscan family. He said, hey, but about 10 years ago, in 2015, there was a legal excavation where they found some urns like this in Città della Pieve, near Perugia. Okay? So we have understood that was the place. That we have used some drones to monitorize the zone. We have understood where it could be they could be excavated. So we made a technical investigation, interceptations, investigation, and when we were sure they were there, we have entered the property. What has happened? It was near the legal excavation. He was the owner of the site on the other side of the hill where were found the first. So he searched himself. He had excavators because he had a dictator society for monumentation of art, and so he found these urns. These are 8 urns, a sarcophagus, and the cover of the sarcophagus, because these are very important. First of all, for the grade of conservation. You can see it's absolutely unique to have these colors, the gold. This is not picture, it's real gold. They are part of gold on the stone. It's rare that we have this grade of this case of confiscation. You can see the colors, the ears, you can see everything. Scusate, stavo registrando.
How old are these objects?
3 centuries before Christ. This is a particular period, historic period, because it's so important for us, our work, because you can give back piece of history that you could not know. This is 3rd century. You know, the first century, 8th, 6th century before Christ, Etruscan was the owner of Italy and dominated the Romans. Then Roman begins to grow. In 3rd century, Rome was very powerful. The Etruscan make a last great war battle against the Romans, create a league against Rome in the Battle of Sentino in 295 before Christ. They lost, but the Romans, that is particularly civility because it's the first civilization that doesn't destroy the other civilization, but integrates cooperate with the other civilization. So he wins, but he allows to the Etruscan to go on with this culture of the graves. So, for example, here you can see a scene of Iliad. This is Achilles that cuts off the head of Troilo. Troilo was the youngest, most beautiful young in Troia. The legend said Troia could not be destroyed if he was alive. So this is that shame. But you can see something very particular in every of these urns. For example, these are all the objects we have found with the urns. That is, if you can see the particular of this mirror, if you can see here at the base, you can see a baby with the wolf.
Wow.
You see?
Yep.
The baby with. The archaeology I have not also now explained because there is, we have a legend of Romolo and Remo, but are two twins. Here there is only one twin. Why? This is important because with this artifact you can discover part of history. Not also, though you can know some aspects of this history that otherwise would be the mystery. That we have found the whole sarcophagus with the skeleton. Okay? So this is, we think this is the lady of the house, the most important lady of the house, la matrona of the house. The anthropologist already made a first experiment, first studies. He was 46 when he died. He had two sons. So not only the historical studies are important, but also the scientific one. You can say what kill, what they eat, all the things. So this is very important to understand. So you can see the work of anthropology is stunning. We are about 315, and all the great part is in the operative operations. For example, we have a particular section for the dates, for the software. We have about 15 carabinieri but the great part, about 300, is working on the investigation operations. This is very important. We have this organization that covers all the nation, all the country, because it's very important being near the things. If you can think that we have about 350 archaeological areas, known archaeological areas, because then we have a lot, and you must think that we have not only the ground, we have the sea, the seaside. For example, last year we have discovered near Civitavecchia, near Rome, about 400 meters from the coast, ship, a Roman ship. Obviously, a work of that, to recover that, costs a lot of money, so you must wait that you have this was an important goal of the beginning of Carabinieri Command full cultural heritage. Because at the beginning, there was this awareness of importance of documentation, okay? So at the beginning, not the museum already had these goals, the culture, but above all the churches, the private You must think the castle, the ancient buildings. They have incredible frescoes, for example, that are cultural interest. They had not the awareness of the importance to have the photos. In some of the, I have said 300,000 of objects. For a lot of them, we have not the photos. In some time, we have find a photo in later. For example, had disappeared this important picture, this trittico in the church. We have found it, finding the photos made during the ceremony, during the events. So in some time we have some old bad photos. SWOTS, the program we have developed with the artificial intelligence is very useful for this, because it manages to see things that for human eyes are very difficult to see. For example, we have a lot of photo flashed, okay, with the light, the ruins, or SWOT from a little particularly manages to have a match, and that for the human eye is very difficult sometimes. For example, for human eyes, it's very difficult to do renew, for example, white and black and color. Okay, so in the archive you have the photo, bad photo in black and white. You find in the internet the photo in colors. A part, sometimes, of all the work. If you want, I can show you how it's difficult sometimes to have this confrontation. SWOTS managers helps a lot to make this. The first thing is have a right documentation. First, okay, this is first step. Absolutely, in every sector we have talked about pictures, but you must think also the bibliothèque, the books, the ancient books. Sometimes we have no documentation.
It's already stolen.
Stolen, the manuscripts that have incredible value. So the first step is documentation. And for the picture, now, if you have batteries, the quality of the picture, and easier is the investigation, okay? And for the 3D objects, it's important to have all the angulation, okay? Second step is to create a police, sector police. You must invest. We are the biggest sector police in the world. Now, some European countries creating something, a little section, but nothing equal to us, because Italy has decided to invest in this sector.
Your government invested.
Your government in 56 years ago decided to, but Italy has always been forte in this sector. Sector is very important for us. We say, in general, they say we have 70% of archaeological heritage in the world. We have at Rome, we have spoken about Cosa, so Rome, so we have invested in it. We have decided, we have understood that our cultural heritage was in danger. He decided to invest in this. He asked to Carabinieri to create this particular command. To create the acknowledgement of this particular sector, you have understood that it is particular, and it's not like operating with narcotic or other particular crime. This is particular. Often you go on without the crime, without the guilty. A guilty that is buried in history, okay? So it's particular. You must have the eye to the object and you must find it, okay? This is particular. And you must follow all these particular street, not only judiciary, but also you have seen other cultural agreements, so you must cooperate with a ministry to have contact not only with the police, because the police department can have arrived at a certain point that it became a diplomatic problem, okay, that you must solve. So you must invest in all these sectors. When you have this, then when the conflict is ended, you must decide what to do. But the diplomatic situation is very, very, very important. Very, very important is also that all the country create some laws that are equal. You cannot have in Italy a larger forfeiture that is not applicable in other countries. It's very difficult, this, okay? So you must see really, you know, we have a lot of international convention, UNESCO, Palermo, Nicosia, etc., that speak about protection of cultural heritage. Now it's become always most interesting the link between cultural heritage, marketable cultural heritage, the laundering, okay, illegal laundering, but there is no equal laws in all the countries. So you must find something that allows really to go back the cultural heritage in its context. This should be the unique law. I want to show you a thing. So maybe I can answer in a practical way. You can see all these boxes. This is the work of Pierre Mont of work with the United States, with New York. This has taken with the cooperation with Matthew Bogdanov, the district attorney of New York. You can understand maybe what is the quantity of the goods that we are looking, that we are searching at, okay? It's endless, I think, this. Must think, I have talked about the great operation against the greatest trafficker in the world, no? Two of these were Italian, and we found their archives, okay? Only from these archives, we are also now lacking about 12,000 objects. Only from this.
12,000 spare? In which period 12,000?
We don't know. We don't know. We have the photo of this object. Sometimes we have also the documentation. They say where they were excavated, but sometimes we have only a photo. They use it to sell it. Okay. Sometimes we must understand where they were excavated. We know they were excavated in Italy. In general, we managed to arrive it with the experts, but only from them. Then there is all the world that we don't know. You have seen this urns. This means that the grave robbers are also in action. So this is a work without an end. It's very difficult to pocket all this area. It's quite impossible. Italy is all an archaeological area. Above all, the south of Italy, but we have seen, for example, we are in Perugia, with the center north of Italy. But here we have the history of not Rome only, but Longobardi. There is all the history, medieval Roman. So I think it's endless, this work. If you want to take back this history, you know, when we make a ceremony for the restitution of the pieces, the idea said that all the stolen pieces go back to the place where they were stolen. The excavated one must go in the museum nearest to the area where they were excavated. Okay, when we take it back, we make a ceremony. It's incredible. It's a magic. It's like you have a piece of a puzzle that goes back in all. It's like if that part of a country has a lack of historical DNA. Okay, this is very important from that. You can understand how much is difficult this work of research. So you find this picture on internet or on the catalog. The operator, the carabiniere, must be what is looking at this woman. This is a part of the picture. This is man, there is only a part. What is taking, and so on. In reality, the original picture is this one.
Wow.
Okay? So you have this photo in data bank. You must recollect all these photos that you see in separated sites. You can find one of these on internet, one of these on a catalog of auction house, etc. And you must understand that is recollected. So you can understand this is not a database like all the others. It's made in a particular way.
Like a puzzles.
Not only this, but you in a database in general you have a name, you have a date, a number, etc. Sometimes we have artwork that don't have a name, don't have no tech or praises classification. Some other example. I go on so you can see the feel difficult. Sometimes you are really the little part of the wall. Mm-hmm. Okay? For example, we have found this. What kind of picture is this? It's a fetishist? Mm-hmm. You have only the legs. Then you must have the capacity to understand the iconography and reconduct it to the original. Sometimes you have only different parts. Look, this could be a wall picture, a picture in itself. Mm-hmm. The operator was not convinced and has made a search. So we had said we are not expert, but you must have a knowledge of some particular things. Important is for the one section of elaboration data is knowing the iconography. I make some other examples. Mm-hmm. For example, this is a Trittico. We have found only a part. The other part could be everything. They found the original one. Okay? Sometimes we find all these pieces. Okay? Sometimes The original is very corrupted. This is the quality of the photos we have sometime in our data bank. Okay? Okay. We are stolen in 1991. So we are 30 years. Okay? Let's say this. We have a picture. If you see a picture, you can think this is a normal picture, landscape, okay? But operator was attracted by this. What is this? In reality, this was a part of the a fit, okay? So from this, he arrived to this. Why they cut the original to sell it better? To have more money. The parts is more value than the wall. Okay? Sometimes these pictures are big, very, very big, 4 meter, 4, 5, so they difficult to take. So they look at this. We have found all the pieces. Okay? This is all the part. Sometimes they choose to take all the part. Not important thing, because they cut also. Because it's difficult to recognize to original. You know that it's stolen. If I sell this on market, it's different than selling this. It's very difficult to identify, okay? For example, a little part can be considered a wall picture, okay? Look at this. Look at this. Sometimes they change the ground. This is the original. They take out the landscape, they made all gold. You see the difference? Okay? Find the difference here. This is quiz.
Do you understand the difference? Flowers.
No. Yeah. The shoulders. Okay.
And shoulder.
So you can say, no, but that is not the same picture. It's different. This called alteration. It's a crime. Look at this. This is original. This is what we found. There was not the bodies. Okay? Like this. A person. Here they have told, they have taken out the gamberetto. Creme. The creme. Okay? You see? They've taken out the cremes. Look at this. They made a mess. They took down the flag, the bodies, the persons, the part of the binding. Okay, look at this. This is very interesting. This was found in the airport. They was searching to take out this picture. You see this is a contemporary picture, okay? The one of the policeman that was at the airport was very clever because he has seen that the part the reader of the picture was old. In reality, this was under. They put a color and with a chemical procediment can recover the raw. This is Guarcino. Guarcino is a very important painter of 16th century, very, very important. We are speaking of the picture.
They shoot an original picture under the
Okay,
of this.
so look at this. We have called this art attack. Look at this. This is original picture, okay? That is, first picture, they cut off this part and they rebuild this in this way, okay? Look at this. Then there is another part, another picture. They cut this in this way, but they used the l'angelo, the angel of the other paint that was here
It's like Tetris.
to put here. Okay, but why the operator know this? This is strange, because in iconography doesn't exist the adoration of angel. There is the adoration of Christ, but not the adoration of angel. So you must be ready to understand these kinds of particular. You see this picture, you see it on the wall, is the player of dice. There are all in iconography with this kind of you will find a lot of pictures like this. So you must know what is iconography. Okay? Who makes this work knows very, very, very well. The saint has disappeared. This is the original. This is the one we found. Okay. This is SWOTS, the program I've told you we have developed with artificial intelligence. Okay. I want to show you. These are all the pictures SWOT, some examples of the picture SWOT has found and we didn't find. You have seen that our operator are very, very able to but for example, this picture has escaped from SWOT has found it because this, for example, is very little. It's a very little particular. These photos are very bad. You can see the photo something not only is bad the photo you have in archive. Sometimes also the photo you have on internet is a little photo. It's better photo. Okay. So this is the photo we have in archive. This is what we find. The perspective sometimes is very difficult for the human eye. Okay, change completely. If you think, if you see this, it's strange. You have not discovered yourself this picture, but sometimes you must think. That when you make a search all the day on the computer. There can be mistakes. White and black and color, it's very disturbing for the research. Look at this. Here, for human eye, it's quite impossible to find the ghost. Look at this. The flashed photo are a mess, and SWOTS managed to find it. This is the program we have developed here. There is a carabiniere that is an engineer, an informatic engineer, that is developing this system. We want to share it with all the country who want.
Esri,
Eh?
who have signed some agreement with you.
Yes. But we want to share it for free, okay? The important, you must make the work to create a data bank. They want.
Yeah,
the,
it's just only
this is a work for years to have a data bank like this, okay? So it's unuseful if you have a program like that, but you have not a sector police that makes those work. And you have understood that these are two kinds of work: the operative, the investigation, and the researcher. Okay? In general, this work is made by the older of us that I've made a lot of experience investigations. After 11, 10, 20 years of investigation, you go to find this work. If I try to find something, I will not find. I think you need a lot of experience to make this. Okay, so you can have the software free, but it's unuseful. You have decided to grow, to develop this particular sector of investigation. Look at this. This is one of the few cases in what SWOTS has managed to find something in 3D. For now, is working with 2D. You understand that 3D is another thing. The paint is a paint. You can have a bad paint, a good paint, but that is the information you have. 3D is different. If you see a vase from a part, there is an information. From that, an angulation is another information. SWOTS 2, in this case, is a work because the front and behind was equal. So this is an ostensory, I found it. SWOTS 2, the second step of SWOTS, is made for 3D video. Imagine what's important. You public in a social network a video, and behind you have a stolen picture. Yeah. So to manage to have a match also for the casual video. Okay. And the third step is the fake, the falsification. That is the most difficult one. Because
you already can do.
No, we are developing. SWOTS is already working. SWOTS 1. SWOTS 2 we are developing. But I think we are near 3D video falsification. It's a bottom. So these are other examples, okay? So I found a picture of, let's say, e-commerce. You know, now there are a lot of websites in what you can find artwork.
Like spider, it's good.
SWOT, you give the instructions to SWOTS monitorize and find. SWOTS 2 should do another thing. First of all, the 3D, three-dimensional objects. That now doesn't work. Second, there is a video in what you are participating in a ceremony. You have a lot of images, and between these images you see a picture. The picture is matched with the data bank. Third, a fake. To understand, but it's more difficult because you have seen now difficulties, the concept of fake. So you should understand that it's strange that there are all the artworks on sale of this author, all that incongruent because it's stolen at a price that is too low. There are a lot of things. So SWOTS will make this with artificial intelligence. But artificial intelligence works very well if the quality of the data of the data bank is good. So more is good your data bank, the more other things. So you don't think that it's so easy to work.
Of course.
We have 56 years of experience in this sector. Okay, in what we have also learned from our mistakes, we have developed all of this knowledge in a sector that is particular in confrontation with all the other field of investigation. It's very, very, very particular. You must have a training particular. In this building we have an aula, a classroom, in what other countries come to learn, to share this acknowledgement.
And do you organize some courses?
Yeah.
For
Yeah. The last one is we have made for in favor of African United States. Yeah.
Have,
All the
have
countries that
Ukrainians,
want.
colleagues ever been here?
What?
Ukrainian colleagues took part?
Ukrainian? Not also now. Learn a way to operate it. Then you must create something stable, a unit. You must begin from a unit, I think.
But you would teach them or not?
Yeah, absolutely. These courses are made for this. Are made for this.
And if they will apply tomorrow, when they would begin their
You
study
can
program?
begin immediately. Then you will have to grow, obviously. But if you don't begin from something, so you must decide to create a unit, section, how you want to spend for that, and that begin to go. But you, the good thing is that you not must begin from nothing like we did. We have a lot of experience to give. We have no motivation to hide that. For us, important everything cooperate in this. We have no.
Take the word here.
Yeah, we are not jealousy. I've told you we have made a lot of restitution to the watch. We really believe that all must return to the original context. So we want to share. Sometimes it's very difficult because you have a lot of fight for the right of privacy. Okay, so if you go to take a masterpiece, an artwork, this is all private, you must fight with that code. There are museums, they have a lot of these things. So we are fighting with the museums of all the worlds. All the worlds. So you must decide where do you want to go. Okay. So this course could be the beginning, but you must decide to invest in that sector. I repeat, there are some countries in Europe that are making this. For example, OCBC in France. We have art crime units in Netherlands. In Spain, there is a section for this. Yes, they are growing because they are understanding this is becoming important also for the confrontation with the other sectors. The importance is assuming in laundering. If we have talked about the money that is in this market, this can, in our countries, above all for laundering, in other countries can be involved with terrorism, for example. So this knowledge is becoming more and more important. But you cannot afford it with the normal tools, the traditional tools. You must have new tools, like this one. You have understood.
The last question for you. Do you agree that somebody who stolen artworks, they are stolen history?
Yeah, absolutely. We give back the history. We give back the DNA, historical DNA, that was stolen in a civilization. You take back that. Sometimes we make ceremony in what we give back also simple things. Epigraphies. Do you know the epigraphy? Rome is full of epigraphy. Some months ago, we made a ceremony in what we found in Netherlands Museum, a little epigraphy that was all in our catacombs near Rome. okay, in Grotta Ferrata. It was a piece of stone, okay? We made the ceremony. We put this stone with the other stone near, okay, like a piece of a puzzle. It was magic. It was recreating a part of history, okay? Repeat, a piece of stone. But in that context, in that reality, it's like having a new history of that place. So that is important. Very, very, very important. Not only great artifacts, masterpieces of Tiziano, Raffaello, Michelangelo. It's very important. I said we are looking for the Caravaggio nativities 56 years. But also the little things sometimes can help to have a new vision of history of that there are the civilization cities. They wait for these pieces that go back in the place. The city of Pesaro is waiting from a lot of years the Atlas of Lisipo, and we are fighting for that.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Okay.